Oh boy. Can I turn this around?
So you can see.
Good. Okay, so we've been touching on the art of resilience, sharing a few gems with you, touching on some of the trauma recovery, self-questions, the laws of resilience, and just what to expect when we plant peas. Just out of curiosity, can someone tell me what to expect when we plant peas? What? What else? When you plant peas, what should you expect?
Peas.
That's too common sense. How about some corn? Okay, resilience. You see that tree on the right? I have seen this before. That's a palm tree, and sometimes when stress comes our way, the question is, how does that palm tree come back? It comes back in many ways. I've seen it like that, sometimes much worse, and in horrible places. The bottom line is still the same. When we pass through our stresses and our hurricanes, how do we come back? How do we bounce back? How do we survive when it's all over? The ability to recover, bounce back from adversity, especially the traumatic events. That's what we're talking about here today. How well would you, could you, or should you bounce back? People on the outside, it's easy to say. When you're the one got to live with it, it's a whole different thing. So, I'll start by asking a simple question. And in a few words, a volunteer, please tell me, how do you put a person on the moon? Who's volunteering for answering this? Okay, tell me, how do you put a person? Can I get that other mic? How do you put a person on the moon? In a few words. On the moon, yes. Thank you very much. Somebody else. How do you put a person on the moon? Give me another hand. Another hand. Yes, sir. How do you put a person on the moon?
Aim for the stars.
Darn, you're right. A third one. Give me a third one. You're all three in a row. Let me come up here. How do you put a person on the moon, sir?
You use turns and stripes, right?
Okay, I can work with that. Let's change the question. Let's change the question. How do you recover from a traumatic event? Simple words. How do you recover from a traumatic event? Go for it.
One day at a time with hope.
Okay, thank you. Somebody else. How do you recover from a traumatic event? Okay.
I make some artwork.
Say it again.
I make artwork.
Okay, artwork. And a third person. Say it out loud. We can hear you.
At your own pace.
At your own pace. Those two questions are very difficult. Yet the first one, you all told me the same thing. You put them in a rocket ship and something and you send them to the moon. The second question, the answers were very different. Why? We get back to that. This is what we heard yesterday. What happened to you is not your fault, but managing it is your responsibility. Do you remember hearing that? There was a man by the name of Mark Dones, Shaku and Ali. Right here, this room, NYAPRS. What happened to you is not your fault, but managing it is your responsibility. Does that make sense? You're the one who got to live with it. Is that fair? Yeah. Toughen up. Life is not fair. Never was, won't be. So how well do we bounce back? What is your resilience factor? We can be very emotional about it. We can be very practical about it. But the question is one and the same. Do you know the rules of the game you're engaging with? Who taught you how to deal with the rules of engagement? Our emotional responses to strain, stress, that's what it's all about. We could trigger these events. Most of the times it's triggered from outside. Most of the times it's probably people that we know who supposedly love us, and people who we're close to. Sometimes it's strangers. It could be a politician, it could be a neighbor, it could be a preacher, it could be anything. The bottom line is still the same. When it comes, it comes. What will you do when it comes? Most of what I'll be talking about here is the aftermath. Not the before, but after. When it comes, sometimes comes like a thief in the night. It might come in the broad daylight also, but it comes. It sneaks up on us. It's an equal opportunity boogaboo. It doesn't care about your mama, auntie, uncle, cousin. Where you're from? Oh, I'm from New York. What to do? It doesn't care. When it hits, it hits. Oh yeah. So for me, trauma is coming. You got some already, and there's more coming. It's not if it's gonna come, it's when. And when it comes, how prepared are you? Do you have to be prepared? No, you don't. It's your choice. You could stand in the middle of the desert and say to the hawk, here I am. You could also go hiding. You don't have to do anything. It's choice. But if you choose peas, you should not be expecting corn. Did I say you should choose peas? No. We all have choices. Trauma, ecstasy. It gives birth to new conviction, new meaning, and sometimes things that we're willing to die for. Trauma. And many a times in the animal world, things switch real quick. Put an animal through some trauma, overnight things could change. Are we animals? No. Careful now. Careful. Careful now. We also, under trauma, sometimes go through some major changes. What I'm here to say, ladies and gentlemen, irrespective of what you were doing, who was doing it, when they're doing it, the bottom line is the same. When you are exposed to trauma, chances are you're exposed to change. If change is coming, I hope you help to manage the process so at least the change is something you could work with, balance with, and take it from there and move on. You do not control what's coming. What you control is what happens after that. I know a fellow by the name of John. He now sells products for people. He's a happy person. Trauma hit John, and trauma hit John hard. John is now with a new group of people. He's selling stuff for them. They're happy, he's happy, everybody's happy. Not his family. Because after trauma hit, John found a new family. He forsake the old one. Is anything wrong with that? It's not for me to say. Because John was not happy before. He found a group of people who now embrace him. He's working his tail off for them, and he's happy. Fortunately, he also went through a change. Going through a change is one thing. The question is the change in your benefit? Is it in your best long-term interest? Those are questions to answer. And it's better when you have the answers before you get into it versus after you get in, because heaven knows when you're into it, you don't see too good. I know two people who went through a heart-wrenching breakup. One got completely hard. I'll never love again. That noble, worthless little piece of twerk. After what they did to me, I'll never love again. I hardened my heart to make sure this stuff never happens. Is there anything wrong with that? Song that people will sing over and over too. You could take that route, but if you harden this heart of yours and block it off, don't be surprised when the change comes. Because you cannot plant peas and expect corn. Some people go through a heart-wrenching experience and their heart turns completely the other way. And again, they give away everything. It's for you to know if you're coming or going. I know a lady from Chicago. She went through a very traumatic experience. The vast majority of us, if we went through that, we'd take a tailspin into nowhere. She went through it. When she came out, I think right now she's probably the richest woman in the United States of America. But that's a different story. I know a parent that will forsake their most basic parent instinct, all for an immediate, quick fix. If you don't realize what's going on, sometimes something else will drive you. It's your job to know if you're coming or going. Susan had a fantastic, somewhat traumatic experience at her initiation. Initiation, be it with a little club at the school, or with a military, or it doesn't matter where you had your traumatic experience. Chances are, if there is trauma, there is change coming. Your job is to make sure the change is coming in your direction, or at least manage the change that's coming. Because heaven knows where it takes us. Changing what? No, not changing on time. Today you're wearing stripes, and tomorrow, after some traumatic experience, you choose not to wear stripes anymore. You're just wearing spots. It might be okay, and it might not be. I'm saying it is your job to determine if this new change that's coming, is it okay with you? If you have a change where you had a mother, father, aunt, uncle, cousin, and all of a sudden you say, this whole family of mine is no good, I have nothing to do with them. It's not for me to say. It's for you to examine these new thoughts that are coming my way. I know a young man doesn't even drink soda, and he's taught people to drink soda, and all of a sudden, the soda factory could not keep up with the demand for soda. What are we talking about here? I'm talking about advertising. The man doesn't drink soda, he says, grab his crutch, woo! You're darn right!
Really?
How you know he don't drink soda though?
He does not drink soda.
Well, he don't now.
But the point is still the same. Highly emotional. I don't know anyone who could take people off that high so easily, but he does. He takes you high, he tells you to drink that soda or whatever, and the companies who provide the soda could not keep up with the demand after this man did it. You're laughing, and you probably say you're not one of them. Trust me, they're there somewhere, because from that day forward, advertisement has never been the same, because no one has ever been paid so many millions of dollars to do something like that. Yes, sir. Not before him. Nobody. Absolutely nobody. Yes, sir.
It's not the soda that you drink, it's the actual suds that you have a problem with recovery. It's the suds in the soda. So what you do is you get diet soda without suds.
I hear you, but okay. I don't know about the suds part. I'm talking about the advertisement.
The carbonation of when you get in trouble with recovery, the problem is the carbonated water in the soda causes things to happen in the brain, but then all of a sudden you got a lot of problems. You have problems with hearing things and seeing things that are not there.
Okay.
And
again,
I drank too much soda.
So you know what your challenge is.
My challenge is to recover at a decent rate. No rush, no hurry, right in the middle.
Gotcha. Okay. So,
You should work with it.
So again, you may have experienced too much soda doing what you do. Different things happen to different people at different times. But again, going back to the advertisement, the way how it works is they got to take you on that high of an emotion. If you're up there, you're susceptible to change. He paved the way, so guys like Bolt could now be getting millions and millions of dollars for commercials because it works. Moving on. I know a fellow by the name of John. He provides services, of course, in a capitalistic system, we do goods and services. John provides services and Tom sells goods that often destroy families, and yet both of these people are loved, admired, and respected, depending on lookup or fear, in their communities. How could that be?
Because Tom got a lot of things that look different, like cars, houses, toys, video games.
And I say he has a big kids one. Okay, moving on. Trauma forcefully leads us down a path. What matters the most is, do we follow or do we make our own path through the forest? It will dump you in the middle of the forest and provides a nice, sweet little path for you to follow. Your job is, do you follow that path, because 9 out of 10 times where it's leading you is not the better place, or do you find your own way meandering through? So here are the trauma recovery questions. Irrespective of your size, who you are, why, where, when, cause, or fault of your trauma, the recovery questions are the same. You have big traumatic experience, you have little traumatic experiences. The bottom line is still the same. So here are the 5 that I'm talking about. How prepared are you before it hits? Do you have to be prepared? No!
Well, I found
Yes.
that I have the proper healthy wellness structure in my body. When that trauma hits, those structures are my anchors to reality. So that's my preparation, putting the proper routines and structures in place, getting us to be good, eating proper, doing all the right structures, I have them in place of trauma occurred. That's my anchor.
No, it works for you. You are prepared. So when it comes, you have what to rock back on. For you, it's the only preparation. For somebody else listening to exactly what you just said, would say, I don't need no darn preparation. I'm fine where I am. You want to bring it on? Bring it on, baby. There are so many different ways, and we could also prepare in the extreme. The question is, where do we find that balance? Yes, sir.
This is again for what I have done. Now everyone is different. What I have done, and I suffered in the past many, many years, but what I've done is, whatever the situation, circumstance, or disappointment is, I just have it using my wellness tools to make sure it does not become a trigger, and I get, of course, either sick again or anything else happens. So it takes time to get these type of wellness tools, but that's really what it is.
Gotcha. Again, different things work for different people. And different levels of preparation work for different people. Yes, sir, I take yours and we move on. Somebody else in the back. Keep it short. Go for it.
Basically, anger was one of the weaknesses, what you were talking about. I basically have a bad temper, but basically to keep it short is, to learn how to control that temper is, you gotta practice good listening skills and you don't get angry at the silliest thing.
Give this man a round of applause for me, please. Yes, anger does us a lot of harm. It mixes bad blood. You talk about communication. Key stuff. Because we got to learn how to communicate first and foremost with our darn selves. And then how we communicate with others is another major piece of the pie which we deal with. So that's the first recovery question. Let's look at number 2. When it hits, will I rise? Some people are riding their horse of life, and then a tree branch out of nowhere knock them off of their horse. They just sit down. That's one approach. Recovery question number 3. What will I do after the fall? It's easier said than done. It may work for you. Recovery question number 4. Now that you're over that piece of it, the things you're doing in your life, the words that are leaving your mouth, the way you deal with your anger, the way you communicate with others, are those efforts consistent with your desires? It is your job to be asking those questions, not your mama, auntie, uncle, boyfriend, significant other. It is yours. And if you don't ask yourself the question, maybe someone else might help you with it, but who knows? Recovery question number 5. What meaning will I assign to this event? And which of these questions do you think is the most important one? Someone said number 5. Which of those do you think is the most important one? Number 2. Anybody else? 1 and 3? I tell you. That's true. Yeah. I think this woman rides a horse. Number 5 is by far the most important one. Because whatever meaning you assign to that event, you are the one who's going to live with it. Especially that first event. Here are 3 people going through a dozen yellow rose events. The first one. Yes, sir.
Neville, you know, it sounds like these questions are all about, will I let my trauma cause me drama?
Yes.
In a way.
Yes.
And I have control over that.
Yes. However, I'd also say, when you get hit off your horse and you're down on your butt, it's not so easy to process this kind of stuff. Because you're so hurt, you want to hurt back the person, you want to hit your... It's tough, but yes, you're on it. You're on it. So, what meaning will I assign to this event? Here are 3 people going through this exact same event, dealing with 12 roses. The first person got a dozen yellow roses. Major traumatic event for her. Never had those roses. Oh, and she's also excited and wonderful. To that woman, the event she assigned to roses is roses are good. And from this point henceforth in the rest of her life, she sees a little rose. Oh, knees buckle, she smiles. The meaning she assigned to her traumatic event was yellow roses are beautiful. Here's another woman. Why are you picking up women now? Here's another woman. She received 12 yellow roses. It just so happens that the person she's with is just a tad bit abusive. And so he gets into this anger thing, and he gave her a serious whipping with those 12 yellow roses. Thorns cutting her up in her face, all over her. Trauma! What meaning do you think she assigned to those yellow roses? Good stuff? No! Bad. And depending on how she assigned the meaning, that assignment gives the power. If you change the meaning to, this dude is a jerk. If you assign that meaning to the dude and not the flower, you're taking the control. You're getting the power that you were talking about. But if you don't do that, this childish mind of ours will assign a meaning. And that second person could say, roses are bad. And that poor person who makes that assignment, now they got to live with it because they planted those peas. Now they got to live with that stuff. The next time they see a yellow rose, it's like, oh my God. And the next time they get even worse. And it gets to the point just the sight of something yellow probably could trigger them. It's the same process that works on the positive, the same process works on the negative. It's about management. How are you managing it? How are you assigning it? Here's a third person. They're into this thing they call S&M. Ooh. She got 12 roses. And she got a little whooping too. Where I'm from, I got whipping, and I could tell you there was nothing joyful about my whippings. But anyway, back to number 3 person. What are you laughing about? She's into whatever she's into, and so she associates something different with roses. Which of the 3 is correct? All 3 of them are correct. The power is in the assignment, especially the first traumatic assignment. Because after the first one, the next one adds to it. And the next one adds. Just think of yellow, it adds to it. Just present with a yellow piece of paper, oops, it just give me a reminder. And so on, and so on, and so on. Hence the importance of that very first assignment. Because if you don't manage it right, there's a 5-year-old child inside of you that will help you. And chances are, you give a 5-year-old a job of doing adult stuff, they're not going to do it right. Moving on. I'll skip through this. So there are physical laws and there are spiritual laws. Physical law, for example, fire. If you put your hand in the fire, what happens? Well, I don't believe in fire. You will believe in fire if you want. I don't have to believe in it. But if I put my hand in fire, I learn real quick. Whether I want to believe or not, I will learn real quick because it's a physical law. That trauma of getting my hand burned tends to drive a little change. I might not put my hand in there again. But then I might like the heat, so I might go close. Spiritual laws, they work slower. They work slower because anything you're saying over and over again, chances are you're taking yourself closer and closer to it. If you're doing it through saying something, if you pray for you folks who are into the religious stuff, if you keep praying over and over, you are driving yourself closer to something. You better make sure what you're driving yourself closer to is the right place you want to go. Because heaven knows where it takes you. Repeating anything, especially if you've been through something traumatic with it, will take you closer and closer to it. Yes, ma'am? Okay. Prayers, meditation, singing song, the Pledge of Allegiance, anything you repeat over and over and over again, you emotionally are moving closer and closer to it. So I'm saying it is your job to examine what you repeat over and over and make sure that getting closer and closer to it is the direction you want to go. Because if you don't, you end up in some strange place and you're asking yourself, oh my gosh, how did I end up over here? Depends, whatever you pray for. I don't know, some people pray for self, some people pray for others. I'm just saying, if you're praying, take for example, Harvey asked the question, tell me something you hate about recovery. You remember what the first answer was? I guess you were not in the room. Harvey said, tell me something you hate about recovery. And the first person somewhere over that side of the room shouted, drunk. You remember? Okay, things you don't like, things you hate. If you repeat it over and over and over, you're going to hate it more and more. Like some people have this thing they call a pet peeve. And they think it's cute. It's not cute. If you have a pet peeve and you hate it, you're gonna sing it over and over. And if as you do that, you hate it more, it gets you more emotional, you get to the point you can't even manage your own pet peeve. You feed the darn thing and it becomes a monster and you say, oh my gosh, where did this come from? Is that any clearer? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The loved one dies.
Mm-hmm.
Is my repetitive prayer over and over, how will that affect me? Or is that an adequate example?
It's a different example, but you are praying for good. Good is the direction you want to go in, therefore I say it is all good. How you handle the death of the person or whatever of the person, that's a different equation. Okay, an example.
A while ago.
All right.
And basically what it amounts to is the profound and the profane are one and the same.
Mm-hmm.
The profound becomes profound because how we repeat it, and ritualize it, and give it importance. So if it's negative, and we repeat it and give it importance, okay, then our lives are negative. If we take something positive and repeat it, ritualize it, become spiritual, then it becomes part of our life. The same thing is with the negative. I think this is what he's trying to tell you.
It works exactly the same way in the positive as it works in the negative. Anything you're repeating over and over, you emotionally are taking yourself closer and closer to it. Going back to the yellow rose. If I think yellow rose is good, then whenever I talk to you, oh my God, did you see those roses over there? Isn't that beautiful? I just said it again. Someone else, look at my yellow roses. This is my garden. You see these? You're saying something good about yellow. If you keep doing that crap over and over, see this? This is not even yellow. You get to the point, you probably see something close to yellow and you start smiling. Because you have all those positive emotions associated with yellow from the words that leave your mouth that you kept saying over and over again. If I go to a song, rainy days and Mondays always get me down. Guess what? You got one Monday every week. You keep singing that darn song over and over and over. Take a guess what happened as Mondays come around. It embodies them with the emotion they assign to it. That's why I say number 5 was the most important one. Whatever emotion you assign to it, as time goes on, it gets either better and better and better, or worse, worse, worse. Chances are it's not staying the same. Yes?
I just wanted to comment to you, do you believe in a higher power? Sometimes you're gonna look at it as, I've been praying for you to get better, I've been praying for you not to be in any pain anymore, I've been praying for you forever. When the higher power takes a person home, isn't that the better? Isn't that what we all believe, that when we go to the higher power, we leave this world, we're going to something better? So you know what I mean? You're praying for that stuff to happen, and even though the person died, that might not have been your choice, that was God's choice. And they did go to a place that was better.
Hold on, we're going in a whole different direction because we're talking to, there's what you pray for, and I'm saying her repetitive behavior is taking her somewhere. When the person dies, that's a whole different subject. It's not, we're not on the same subject anymore. Keep it short, go ahead.
Basically, it's you either breathe life or
speak life or speak death of a situation. If you keep saying, I can't do this, I can't do that, you're not gonna do it because you're speaking that negativity on your life. You know,
It gets harder.
It
gets harder.
It gets harder, but if you keep saying, I can't, you're speaking life into your situation. You're giving it the fertilization it needs to grow. I can't go back to school, I can't get that degree.
Yep.
The more and more is gonna keep coming in your head that you can, and you're gonna stay stuck. So that is speak life or speak death of your life.
There's a fellow by the name of Roger Bannister. Do you know who he is? He's the first man who broke the 4-minute barrier for a mile. The entire world, no exception, knew it could not be done. The entire world accepted as a fact, you cannot run a mile in less than 4 minutes. When Roger Bannister practiced it up here, day after day, I see myself breaking that 4-minute day. He kept practicing, one day he broke it. When he broke it, the whole world says, holy moly, you mean it can be done in less than a week? Hello? The whole world could not do it in less than a week. 5 other people or so did it. Why? Because the whole belief system changed. But how did it get to the change? Roger Bannister was going over and over and over in his head. Yes, ma'am. Keep it short.
Okay, I definitely. So I have a comment.
Yes.
The power of life and death are in the tongue.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
I wouldn't say quite that way, but the tongue is extremely powerful. It takes you closer and closer to life, and it can take you closer and closer to death. Depends on which way you're practicing it. All right, let me move on. Okay.
Well, no, the only thing I want to say is you were saying the over and over and over. Mm-hmm. And what I have done, this has helped me, and I've taught other people, is that you look at yourself and find the things that you don't like, or you're doing wrong. Or, like example, I used to worry all the time. That's what I used to do.
Not good.
That's one. But I use an affirmation. I use affirmations in my wellness toolbox, and I've been saying it for 2 years. And I keep going it over and over again, and it does make a difference. At least to me.
Yes.
Maybe to others.
And that is helping to reverse the process after you have already bought into the negative. You choose to say that positive thing over and over again. For example, I walk past my mirror, and I look at it and say, damn, you're looking good. Now, I don't make nobody hear me doing that because you know what they're going to say. But if I keep saying that thing over and over, I will walk with my head high. My confidence will build. If my confidence builds, I feel better about myself. I feel better, I'll exercise some more. If I exercise some more, I might not eat 2 slices of cheesecake. Oh yeah? I still do it. Let me move on. Stress hits. When it hits, ladies and gentlemen, what will you do? Here are the 2 extreme responses. I give you the 2 extremes because we all live somewhere in between those 2 extremes. And you need to know that one of them is serving you more than the other. For example, Chicken Little. When trauma hit Chicken Little, his hands are in the air. Oh my God! Oh my God! So for those of you who love to call on God, I'm not saying anything about you calling on God. But that Chicken Little thing looking on the outside for the answer, oh my God! Run away! Run away! That's not the approach to deal with trauma. Because you are not assigning what's happening. You have no control over what's coming your way. You better figure out what's coming because it is your responsibility to manage it after. And when the Chicken Little, oh my God, run away, heaven knows what assignment is going to happen to that thing. The extreme opposite response to that is curb to enterprise. Spock. Are you seeing this crap that's going on down here? What we're going to do? That's the extreme opposite. Calm, cool, looking at it, analyzing it. What meaning do we assign to this crap that's happening to us? Not the Chicken Little run away. Let me keep moving. I come back to you. So how prepared are you before it hits? You don't have to be prepared. But here is someone who's prepared for a doomsday situation. In their basement, they got enough food to last 3 years. They got oxygen for the family and a little place to get rid of the potty waste and all of that good stuff. So if there's a Holocaust right now, we'd have some major, nuclear stuff going on, that person is very prepared. But it doesn't feel good. That's one extreme. You and I might laugh at his preparation, but I tell you, if there's a nuclear thing going on right now, I've been knocking on his door and asking for some of what he's got. So, most of us have some level of preparation. For example, you see them shoes? Does that lady have to wear those shoes? Not really. Does she need to have that level of preparation? Not really. But she lives in Texas. She better wear that crap on the horse. They have something they call rattlesnakes. And when they go, they go for your ankle. They go for your ankle. So depending again, that's a level of preparation. Now look at these cute shoes over here. Anything wrong with that? No. And that's preparation too. Unfortunately, they can't handle the rattlesnakes though. By the way, huh? Then if you see it, that's right. It's my business. I'm going to wear what I want to wear. You can't tell me. By the way, is there anyone who could walk comfortably in those things? Okay, tell us about it. Wait, listen carefully. Tell us about it. How can you walk comfortably in those things? You heard that? You put them on and you walk. As simple. That is her truth. You can't tell her it's not so. We all have our truth. That doomsday preparation is the truth. So, some of us will choose to be barefooted. I don't need no damn protection. It feels better. Ain't nothing like the real thing on the ground. I feel grounded. Anything wrong with that? No. However, if you're plan P's, don't be expecting. Thank you. Yes, ma'am. Yes?
I'm playing with these. I'm walking around there for 25 minutes.
It's not for me to say. Everybody got to do their own thing. If you walk barefooted in this carpet, it's fine. Outside, it might not be. But if you develop a certain level of callus, you probably could. Uh-huh.
Unnecessarily potholes.
I agree. And that's why some of us go barefooted. Some of us wear that lovely red shoe. Some of us wear this. And so on. We are all right. We just have to live with our choices. That's all I'm saying. It's for us to examine our exposures or risks and keep moving forward. That's the corn. So, trauma recovery question number 2. When it hits, will I rise? I could sit on my little tush, or I could wait for the king's horses and the king's men to come and get me. Or I could get up, brush myself off, and keep on going. So, with a raised hand, I did say a raised hand. With a raised hand, what are you supposed to do when you fall off the horse? I did say a raised hand. With a raised hand. Hold on. Wait. I want to hear from this lady. What are you laughing? I didn't finish yet. What are you supposed to do when you fall off the horse?
You're supposed to pick yourself up by your bootstraps and keep moving.
Easy for you to say. Somebody else. You fall off of the horse. You were minding your own business. You're riding the horse of life, and this tree branch it just came out of nowhere. Whack! You're off the horse. What are you supposed to do?
Check for injuries.
Yes, indeed. Yeah. I gotta keep rolling because the clock is ticking fast. Yes, you better get up and ride. Next question, why? I raise hand. Why do you need to get your little tail right back on the horse and ride? Why?
So you're not afraid to do it again.
Thank you.
I've fallen off a horse and gotten back up, so I know that personally.
Okay. And I'll tell you the other piece of this which you might not know. For people who go through the traumatic event of falling off a horse, if they don't take their sweet tush and put it right back on their horse, chances are they'll never, ever, for the rest of their lives, ride a horse again. Most of us know what to do. Most of us do not know how to apply it to our lives. Trauma, ladies and gentlemen, when it hits, you better get your sweet tail right back up and ride again. You assign the meaning. Don't let the person or he, she, it, or whatever is happening out there assign it. You assign the meaning. You ask yourself the trauma recovery question. What am I going to do now that this crap just happened to me to prevent it from happening in the future and deal with this stuff calmly? Because if you do it in the anger up here, the 5-year-old child is talking to you. Moving on. No, I'd like you to say this one with me, please. Knowing the right thing and doing the right thing are two completely different things. One more time. Knowing the right thing and doing the right thing are two completely different things. I'm a smart fella, and I know some right things. But knowing them and doing them are not exactly the same. You better manage that process or it will manage you. Let me keep rolling. What will you do after the fall? Skip. Trauma question, huh? Can't hear you. Okay, let me back up. Whether we choose to sing, dance, or sit on the side, the music of life plays on. When we dance, the rhythms of joy will fill our hearts and awaken the soul that stirs within. Sing a wonderful song, dance to your own tune, and each day bathe in the joy of life. And I have nothing against my country peoples, nothing. However, in the next breath after saying that, I'll also say, if the songs you're singing is this no good husband of mine or crap, my daughter is pregnant again and the crop in the field is dying and this no good dog who won't even chase the squirrels. If that's the kind of song you sing over and over again, you're preparing yourself. I'm not going to say it, you said it. You're driving yourself in the wrong direction. A lovely lady sing this song about if you should leave me, I will die. Oh my gosh. What do you think happened when that little jerk leaves you? No, he might be gone to somewhere else, but you start dying slowly because you practice it over. And then when you're singing, you get so emotional. You're laughing and I'm dead serious. Keep it short.
Okay. I remember a study done where they had 3 jars of rice and water, and it was covered up. And the person said something nice to one jar, something mean to the other jar, and then it left the other one alone. After a while, the jar that was said something nice to turned this really golden color and smelled really good. The one that they said mean things to got all black and icky and it smelled really bad. And the one they didn't do anything to also got kind of weird looking. So it's like the power of energy of words affects you physically.
Amen. Amen. Positive words tend to drive positive things. Negative words tend to drive negative things. Some people think they could talk to someone in a negative fashion and somehow expect it to turn around and come back. Okay, all right. I'll stop talking. Are my efforts consistent with my desires? Am I knowing the right thing and doing the right thing? Questions easy to ask. Check yourself, ladies and gentlemen, and take action. Why is it so difficult to smell your own stench? You don't even want to smell it, you don't want to be near it. It's hard to smell your own stuff. And somebody else could walk by you and like, oh. If you don't check yourself, you miss on some of these things. It is your job to be checking on yourself. How am I doing health-wise? How am I doing with my family? How am I doing with my job? Am I doing the right thing? Am I being consistent? How about the words that leave my mouth? Keep it rolling. When you know the rules of the game, our chance of winning improves tenfold. Some of us get into games and we have no idea how we got in and then can't figure out how to come out. If I tell you, come join me in this game, and oh, by the way, you only have a 5% chance of coming out, would you come? You heard the answer? It depends. I say, come join me in this game, you have a 5% chance of coming out. You'd be surprised to know how many people will come join me in this game. And then when they can't come out, because their 5% didn't work, oh my gosh, how did I get in here? Well, easier said than done, but I know, but you're making choices. You better evaluate your choices, otherwise it catches up with you. Let me move on because we're running out of time. What meaning will I assign to this event? That is by far the most important thing after trauma hits. Because that assignment is what's going to drive the words that leave your mouth, and the words that leave your mouth is going to complement it, and it just drives you more and more and more. You need to take back the control, not the chicken little, oh my God, oh my God. Did I say don't call on your God? I'm just checking, because sometimes you don't know what people hear. Because if you're repeating over and over, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I shall fear no evil. It's a beautiful thing. But if you get too caught up in it, you walk right into the fire because you know you're divinely protected too. And fire burns. So there is a balance. You got to work with the balance. I'll skip this. I hate you. Some of the most powerful words you could use in a negative. I am. Some of the most powerful words you could use in the positive. If you ever use those two words together, I am, you better check yourself. Because it's driving you somewhere. Let's hope it's driving you where you want to go. Oh, it kills me when blah, 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 blah. Get rid of those phrases. They're not helping you. Get rid of the pet peeves. Stop repeating the negative. Things and events have absolutely no meaning whatsoever until we assign one to them. After that assignment, they take on a life of their own. The damage that was done to you is the damage. That's done. What meaning do you assign to it? You could focus on the system or whatever that drove it, or you could focus on what it did to you, and so on and so forth. You make sure you're assigning the right meaning because you're going to be living with it. How does it work? There's the dynamite that blows up. Before it blows, you need a match. Before you get the match, it must ignite. After the ignite, it has to run along that large, long wick, and then you have the explosion. Learn your process. Your process is different from my process. If you can interrupt that process anywhere, chances are you could take back the control before the explosion. If you're the angry type who goes off, It won't take a whole lot to just push your little buttons and take back the control. Captain Kirk. Kirk to Enterprise. That calm, cool approach. Because this is how it works. When trauma hits, the radar sweeps. The radar says what's new, what's different, and then it assigns a meaning. And that 5-year-old child inside of us will assign a meaning. That's the process. I don't make it, we just work with it. The laws of resilience, I skip that. And I get to the closure. Okay, I get a little extra time. After trauma hits, we often get into some self-sabotaging behaviors and habits if we don't make the right assignment. The smell or an odor could get you going. The second law of resilience, as you feed that little monster, it will. Thank you. Is that rocket science? No. You can't be feeding it over and over and over again and then wonder why this thing is getting more and more unmanageable. Check yourself. Are your words leading to where you want to go? Are your actions leading to where you want to go? I'm very good at some of it. When I do my side profile and I see Alfred Hitchcock, I know I'm not so good at another part. But am I going to repeat that over and over? No, I repeat the other side. Neville, you're looking good, keep going, you're looking better. And I say it over and over as it helps to take me to the right place.
But you why don't you change it? So that's what Hitchcock was cute.
Easier said than done, honey.
After Hitchcock was cute.
Exactly my point. But I don't want to believe he was cute. I think he's ugly. Why? If I think he's cute, I'm going to get comfortable with my Alfred Hitchcock. No. I don't want it. We're going. The third law of resistance, I am what I have become. Who am I? Right now, at this point in time, I am what I have become. How did I get here? Well, there's a long story. But this is where I am right now. My job is to work with where I am and decide how happy or contented I am with it. If I am not, it is my job to work on that. So if I am what I am, then today I am what I have become. I can remain that way and get more of the same, or I can choose to learn how to be the way I would like to be. It is your job to learn the rules of the games you're engaged in. If you're not happy with what's going on, take the steps. Work on the consistency. Moving on. Here's the balance, ladies and gentlemen. Relationship with yourself and others. Someone talked about communication later on. Hope. Hope is a critical factor in your journey of life. If you don't have hope, you're like a ship on the ocean without a rudder. What happened to a ship in the ocean without a rudder? You can't steer. You're all over the place. The wind blows left, the wind blows right. No. Hope. You need hope. You better learn how to create hope. Find hope. And then hope goes hand in hand with purpose. What's your purpose? If you're just living day to day, you take off your own rudder. Once again, you need a purpose, because if you don't have a purpose to propel you in the same direction, I tell you, when my parents threw me in the water, in the pool, and I come back up, I know which direction to go, up. And then when I get up and I look around in the pool, I know which direction to go again, because I have a purpose. If I don't have a purpose, I probably just stay down and swim, because I don't even know where to go. You need to have that aim, something you're working towards long term.
You'd be like the captain that controls the ship and on the front of the cruise.
You jump.
Jump off the boat.
That's right. Jump. So here it is. Shelter. We need a place to feel safe and comfortable. Family, shelter, work, improving and synchronize the joy, knowledge, communication, and actions in our life. You better be asking yourself that question. Is my joy level, my knowledge level, my communication with others improving every year? If not, chances are you're going in the other place. So as we close, we say, when we learn the art of lighting our own fire, it is a good thing. When we learn to change the habits that do not serve us, it is even a more beautiful thing. When we practice, keywords, take actions here, when we practice to assess ourselves for alignment of hope, purpose, desires, thoughts, deeds, etc., it's a wonderful thing. And when we consistently take actions based on the above, it all comes together as we learn to bathe in the joy of life. When I lose my balance, that's a place where I find my balance. I have a little fish tank and I get lost in it. It helps me in many ways. And that's me before the gray hair, so. Thank you,
Thank you, Mr. Neville, for a good job.
Awesome.
See you guys next